August the 25th, 2020. Guys, here we go. I want you to pay attention to the storm that we're looking at. Now I have Category 1 LAR, and it will be Category 2 very soon. Not sure if that's going to stop there at this point. It's wrapping up very tightly. Now, I'm not sure if you can hear the rain on my tin roof or metal roof. I'm going to be quiet for just a minute. Anyway, it's not very heavy yet, but you see this band right here as it becomes daylight that comes up through Louisiana into Mississippi. That's the rain that you're hearing here. Again, not anything heavy yet. It's been kind of off and on, sprinkling all night, get the ground wet. Now it's starting to actually rain. Again, it's not heavy yet, no thunderstorms. That is going to continue, and it's going to intensify for Louisiana, Mississippi, possibly Alabama. Depends on how this thing tracks. But guys, I want to, again, right here is what's subtropical depression Marco. And just even though it has been decimated by the upper level wind shear, it did not go ashore. Last night the Navy was showing the storm going ashore. Not sure if that's an attraction because now these two low pressure systems are so close together. But what I'm saying is, notice these storms starting to pop up above it in Louisiana. Now you've got this upper level wind shear, and that is what actually was moving across the Gulf of Mexico and across Florida for the last few days, and it was what decimated the top of Marco. But now this Cat 1 hurricane is pushing that northward. It's going to create its own weather for the next few days. You guys in Louisiana pay very close attention to the storm surge. They've got new computers out, and they're calling it like a prototype surge test and things like that. They've been doing it for a few years, and I'm going to show you what we got. You know, the winds and the rain are going to be bad enough, and you're going to have high tides coming in. This is supposed to come ashore late Wednesday or early into Thursday morning around 2 a.m. at night. And these tide prediction charts, or surge prediction charts have been going up all morning. Vermilion Bay, 7 to 11 feet, guys. Right here, before you get over into Texas, 9 to 13 feet. Think of your home, and if you're along the coast anywhere, think of how high that might be on your house. I know a lot of the intercoastal towns where there are people, the houses are up on stilts, but you're going to be more than likely trapped there, and it's really not a good idea when we don't know if this is going to remain a Cat 2 storm or not. But again, 7 to 11 feet here. You get past Morgan City, 4 to 6 feet, 3 to 5 feet at the Mississippi, at the mouth of the Mississippi River, Lake Horn up in the New Orleans area, 3 to 5 feet. The storms go, the surge possibilities go from Ocean Springs, Mississippi to Freeport, Texas. That's down below Houston. In Freeport, this area is where the Navy model, which has been very accurate, and to the last few days, and none of them have been accurate, and I don't know if it's because of the effect of the two storms on each other, but they've been wavering in their predictions on the spaghetti charts. We'll look at that. But they're saying this was 10 a.m. Central, been out 36 minutes. The combination of a dangerous storm surge and the tide will cause normally dry areas near the coast to be flooded by rising waters moving inland from the shoreline. The water could reach the following heights above the ground somewhere within the indicated areas if the peak surge occurs at the time of high tide. The deepest water will occur along the immediate coast near the landfall location. That's where you're seeing the 9 to 13 foot storm surge from Sea Rim State Park back over to Intercoastal City in that area, if it holds to its current track. It says the surge-related flooding depends on the relative timing of the surge and the tidal cycle and can vary greatly over short distances. This is nothing to play with. Now, guys, this is kind of part of that experimental system that they're working with, but they're getting it down pretty good. But this is a potential storm surge flooding map, including the inundation far inland, and the red areas are the highest water. And notice along Lake Charles, guys, and up in some of these rivers and bayous, how far this the peak of the storm goes. Now, they're saying that on this particular map, if you notice Beaumont here and over at Morgan City and New Orleans and south of there, south of Houma, this particular white and black stripe indicates levied areas or protected areas. So, and they're saying to contact your local officials about that particular situation. Okay? Don't forget that. This was critical during New Orleans. Now, it's supposed to move to the west of the New Orleans area. Any variation of that, remember where the northeast quadrant, the right side of the storm, is going to be the worst. So you can't let your guard down. Now, guys, as I do these reports, a couple things. One, I never look at mainstream media, especially the weather, but I don't watch it. If I ever watch TV, it may be late at night, go to bed, turn on the Discovery Channel just for a little distraction. But other than that, I don't watch it. I don't look at the weather reports from those people. I'd rather look at the raw as data as I can get and make my own assumption and point it out and let you look at the satellite images for yourself. But what has changed here? Because as I do the video, I will scan through what I want to cover and then come back and put it into the recording. And what has changed is right here at 7 p.m. Wednesday. This is not an H, it's an M for major hurricane. You see that? This is going to be a problem. Now, the reason that this map is reaching as far left as it is into Texas, just south, and actually a little further south of Galveston, Houston, is that the Navy model, I hope it's still there, but I haven't gotten back to it from scanning. Like I said, you kind of go through and look at what you think is the important information you can get out. And by the time you get to there, it may have changed. But anyway, I'm glad we got the current stuff. If this changes to the right at all, New Orleans, you could be in trouble. Now, this is not the size of the storm. The size of the storm is in this orange area. And as you get to Cat.2 and possibly a Cat.3 here, the storm size will be much larger. That means the northeast quadrant, the right side of the storm, which will be the most dangerous, will be larger. New Orleans, please pay attention to this. Now, they've got it centered at Sabine Pass, right there. That's the Texas and Louisiana border. But you've got hurricane warnings up from south of Houston, Galveston area, all the way to central Louisiana. Tropical storm warnings up on both sides of that. And then, of course, the flooding went from Bay St. Louis over into almost to Texas. Now, guys, here it is, 11 a.m. update. Cat.3 by Wednesday at 8 p.m., 115-mile-an-hour storm. That's what Katrina came ashore as. It was a Cat.5 at one time, but when it came ashore, it was a Cat.3. Well, let me explain something, and most of you know about it. If a storm is this far offshore, and it suddenly becomes a Cat.2, then the out front pressure is still in the Cat.3 category. You understand? The part that's being pushed out, and that will last for several hours, if not a day, ahead of the storm. But this is Fox Hurricane Sky Tower, centered down in Florida, guys. And again, Wednesday, 8 p.m., Cat.3. So those storm surge warnings that came out earlier may change. I'm going to watch this throughout the day. I've got my solar system in place and ready. That's why I've been doing a lot of outside work. Obviously, with this rain, that's shut down so I can focus a little more here. Guys, get plenty of fuel. Get plenty of water. Please evacuate the shore where this storm has the potential to come ashore. Guys, Katrina, it's something that is legendary in the mind of people that live on the coast. Legendary like Michael. But we saw, and can you believe it was 15 years ago, a General Honoré in the National Guard in the streets of New Orleans riding through 4 or 5 foot of water, and everyone crammed into the Superdome. and the roof is torn off, and a lot of crime going on, a lot of shooting, a lot of trouble. And this is the last thing we need with all the trouble that we see across the nation. So be prepared in many ways. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead and get your extra water. Take advantage of this rain. Set some buckets out. You can filter it or you can boil it. You can flush your commode with it. But to save it for drinking water, again, you can boil it. You can build a fire and boil it before you go completely thirsty. But guys, you don't want to dehydrate. You don't want to be caught in this and be stuck in it. People are going to be getting rescued big time. I'm sure the Cajun Navy and other people getting ready. But when you have something like a Cat.3, guys, you've got to back up. You can't run right into that. So it's up to you. You, the leader of your family. Are you listening? This is not going to be nice anywhere. According to here, from Galveston Bay to central Louisiana, if this track holds true. Now quickly, I want to get this video out, but I want to show you the spaghetti models. This was again 11:30, so 17 minutes ago. This is the Navy model that's bringing it down to central Texas. That's why you're seeing that cone spread a little further, because the Navy model has a good bit of influence. But I'm thinking that the storm, or the combination of the two low pressure systems in the Gulf, has thrown off the predictions, and they're going to learn valuable lessons from what we're seeing now. And I'm not sure if they're not trying to put in parameters into their models, because it's humans that do that. It's not AI yet. But anyway, as they put that perimeter in, and they're trying to factor in unknown points of attraction or whatever between these two low pressure systems, that may be throwing it off, because it's close to shore for this one model that has a lot of integrity to be that far south. But that's letting us know that we don't know yet. But Houston, from that area over into Louisiana, a lot of these models, all but the Navy model, is crossing very close to Sabine Pass as far as the center. But to the right of that, Louisiana, you're in for a bad, bad moon rising. So heads up. Be safe.